my name is Gillian. Welcome back to my channel. I made a couple videos last year about Instagram strategy, how to get more followers on Instagram, how to use hashtags to grow your account, and different things like that. And they got a really good response. They've been some of my most popular videos to date. So in today's video, I wanted to go back to those topics, talk about how to grow your Instagram account faster, but for 2018. The Instagram algorithm has changed in the past few months here, and it is a lot different now. And so I want you to know which things you should still be doing the same and then which things you should be doing completely differently. Now, before I jump into the tips, I did just want to address one thing real quick, and that was just a question that I got in my last videos a fair amount, and that was about my own Instagram account and how I know these things basically. So if you look me up on Instagram, you will notice that I do not have very many followers on Instagram, and that's just because I do not actively try to grow my Instagram account at all. In fact, I haven't posted in quite a number of months because I decided to focus on YouTube myself. But I run a digital marketing agency that focuses on social media marketing, and we manage the Instagram accounts of a few dozen different influencers. So we have a lot of both experience on Instagram, and we have a lot of data that we can use to test different things out on Instagram. So that's where all my knowledge has come from as far as what works. We are just constantly trying different things with all of these different accounts, and whatever works the very best, we do more of that, and then we continue to test and test and test to figure out what gets the very best results. Okay, so let's jump on into exactly what you need to do in 2018 to grow your Instagram account and get more followers as fast as possible. Okay, so I want to talk about the biggest thing first, and that is hashtag strategy. Now, if you are trying to grow your Instagram account at all, then you're probably using hashtags some way or other. As you probably know, hashtags are how people find posts and accounts on Instagram. So if you didn't use any hashtags at all, then nobody who wasn't your friend or family member who was directly trying to look you up would be able to find your Instagram account. And when there's a hashtag that's trending, then your post might show up for that hashtag. So using good hashtags is very important, but trying to figure out how many hashtags and exactly what hashtags you should use can be kind of tricky. So first, let's talk about how many hashtags, because this is one of the biggest changes that's happened in the last few months here. Instagram allows you to use 30 hashtags on each post, and it used to be recommended to use 30 hashtags on every single post so that you could get the maximum exposure. But last year, Instagram started cracking down on accounts that were basically trying too hard or being too self-promotional. And one of the factors that they looked at was accounts that were constantly using all 30 hashtags, especially if they were using the same 30 hashtags over and over again. So that used to work great, but these days it's important to mix it up a little bit more. It's okay to use 30 hashtags sometimes, but other times it's good to just use about 5. Most of the times you want to range for between about 10 and 15, and that should get you the best results. You also want to make sure that you are using different hashtags on almost every post. Now, of course, it's okay to repeat a few of them and to repeat exactly the same ones maybe a few weeks later, but you don't want to be using the same hashtags day after day after day. Okay, now let's talk about how to figure out which hashtags to use. Now, I have an entire video that goes into this in great detail, but I'll just recap right now pretty briefly how to figure this out. So basically, different hashtags are different levels of competitive and different levels of popular. So what I mean by that is there are some hashtags that have millions of posts with that hashtag, so it's very competitive. It's really hard to stand out because there's so many posts out there that are using that hashtag. And then there are hashtags that are very popular in that lots of people are searching for them, or not very popular in that not very many people are searching for them. Now, normally these things kind of go hand in hand. So a hashtag that lots of people are using normally is also a hashtag that lots of people are looking for, but it's just good to keep in mind that these two things are separate. So depending on how popular your Instagram account is right now, how many followers you have, and how engaged they are, you have a certain amount of strength on Instagram. So it's kind of like we're all competing for attention on Instagram, and if you have a very small, weak little account, then you can't compete very much. So you can only compete for the not very competitive, not very popular hashtags right now. But as your account gets stronger and stronger and stronger, as you get more followers and you get a lot more engagement on your posts, then you will be able to compete for the much more competitive hashtags that also are the much more popular hashtags that more people are searching for, and that will get you increased exposure. So first, what you need to do is you need to come up with a long list of possible hashtags that you might use. So these are hashtags that directly relate to the kinds of content that you're posting. So maybe you post lots of pictures of your pink shoes, or posts that have to do with entrepreneurship, or posts that have to do with beauty and fashion, or with cooking, whatever it is. Okay, so posts that have to do with the topic or the visual content of your post. And then you need to start searching those hashtags and figure out how they rank. When you search for a hashtag on Instagram, a little drop down pops out and it shows you how many posts there are for that hashtag. So it might say that for that hashtag there's 5,000 posts or 5 million posts. So on your long list of hashtags that you made, you just want to jot down how many posts there are for each of these different hashtags. Based on how big and how strong your account is right now, you can probably make a vague guess at how competitive you'll be able to go with the hashtags. So if you just barely started out, then you probably want to stick to hashtags that have been used less than about 5,000 times. And then if you have been growing for a while and you have a couple thousand followers, then you can probably go for hashtags that range between 10 and 100,000, I'm saying really roughly here, hashtags. And then if you have many thousands followers, then you can go above the 10,000 hashtag posts. Now, I know that right now this sounds really vague, and that's because every account is different, and depending on what niche your account is in, like whether you have a fitness account or a cooking account or a beauty account, whatever kind of account you have, it's different for those different industries, exactly how competitive your hashtags can be. But basically, you just need to get kind of a general range to save you some time here. And then what you need to do is you need to start posting and using hashtags with several different amounts of posts. So you might use one hashtag that has 5,000 posts, one that has 10,000 posts, one that has 20,000 posts, and one that has 30,000 posts. And you put it out there, and then after a few hours, probably about 12 hours, you go and you search for each of those hashtags. Now, when you search for the hashtags, you're gonna see the different posts that pop up in that most popular posts grid, and you wanna see if your post is one of them. Now, you'll probably notice that your post shows up as one of the top posts for some of the lesser popular hashtags, but doesn't show up as the top post in some of the more competitive hashtags. Now, this is exactly what you want to have happen because it will show you basically where you rank on the scale of how competitive or how powerful your account is. If you see that your post shows up for a hashtag that has 5,000 posts, but it doesn't show up for a hashtag that has 10,000 posts, then that tells you that that is the hashtag range that you should be aiming at. You should be finding as many hashtags that relate to your content that have that number of posts as possible. Now, if your post didn't show up for any of those hashtags, then you need to back off a little bit and you need to go for some less competitive hashtags. So if it didn't even show up for the 5,000 post hashtag, then you need to try a 2,000 post hashtag, a 3,000 post hashtag, a 4,000 post hashtag, and see if you show up for any of those. On the other hand, if you showed up for all the different hashtags, or at least a lot of them, including some of the most competitive ones, then you know that your account is more powerful and that you can go for some more competitive hashtags. So you could try going for a 20,000 post hashtag and a 30,000 post hashtag and a 40,000 post hashtag. You just want to have hashtags that are fairly separate in how competitive they are. So we're not talking about a whole bunch that have roughly 5,000 posts. We want a 5,000 and a 10,000 and a 20,000 so that you can figure out where in the range of competitiveness of hashtags your account falls. So now here's what's gonna happen. Once you figure out how competitive your account can be, you're gonna find a lot of hashtags that are roughly in that range, but you want them to be spread out a little bit. So you want some hashtags that are a little more competitive and some that are a little less competitive. Now, by choosing these hashtags that match up really well with how strong your account is, it is going to give you the maximum exposure because you're going for the most competitive hashtags that you're able to, while at the same time guaranteeing that you actually show up in those top posts. Because imagine these two different situations. What if you only go for hashtags that are way too competitive? If you only go for hashtags that have millions of posts, you're not even gonna show up in the top posts, and so those hashtags won't really do anything for your account. On the other hand, if you go for hashtags that are not very competitive at all, then what's gonna happen is, yeah, you're gonna show up in the top posts, but almost nobody is searching for those hashtags anyway, so you won't be getting as much bang for your buck as you could if you were using more competitive, more popular hashtags. So if you use hashtags that are as competitive as you can use while not being too competitive, that is going to help your account grow as fast as possible. And as your account grows, you'll be able to use more and more competitive hashtags because your account will be stronger and stronger. So after you do that initial hashtag research, every few weeks or every month, you're gonna want to do the hashtag research again and figure out where you are standing now. You're going to want to do the hashtag research again so that you can figure out where you're standing now and which hashtags you should now be using in your posts. Just remember there are millions of hashtags out there, so don't use the same ones over and over again. You definitely can find plenty that are in the correct range for your account that also allow you to mix it up every single time. Okay, so hashtags are the single biggest thing that you should be doing to grow your account quickly, but let's talk about a few other really important things also. The next thing I want to bring to your attention is so obvious in some regards, but I still have to say it because if you're not doing this, it will completely stunt your Instagram growth. And that is simply that Instagram is a visual platform and people go to Instagram to see beautiful things and to be inspired. So you have to make sure that your content and your entire feed of your account really lines up with those reasons why people come to Instagram. You could have a great account that has the wrong kind of content on it. Like you could be posting really consistently and using all the right hashtags and using good quality photography. But if it's not visually inspiring, visually beautiful, then you're probably not gonna attract very many followers. So I'm talking everything from how their feed looks all together, what are the vibes that they're using in their pictures, what is the specific content that they're using in their pictures. Of course, I'm not talking about copying their account. I'm just talking about getting inspiration if you feel like this is an area that your account is struggling with. It's important to have beautiful photos, but it's also important that the kind of person who would enjoy looking at one of your photos will also enjoy looking at your next photo. Because otherwise they'll see one photo and they'll follow you, and then they'll see your next photo and they'll unfollow you. So just make sure that your account looks cohesive. Okay, next up, let's talk about the location tag. Now, some people always use this and some people never use this, but it really is just like another form of the hashtag, and it's a particularly powerful one for two reasons. One, because it's underutilized, so it's easier, especially if you're in a fairly big city. There's a lot of people in that city who might look at that location tag, but it's not as competitive as a lot of popular hashtags would be. So using it can really help to give your account an extra little boost. And then the other reason why using the location tag is kind of this extra special trick, people just find it interesting to see what other people in their city are doing, and they feel more connected to those people just automatically. You can use the location tag for your city, for a specific place that you're at in your city, like maybe a specific coffee shop or mall, but just keep in mind that if you are at a very small location, that it won't be very popular and it probably won't get you very many followers, but it still won't hurt to use it. And then if you go and you visit another city or you go on a vacation, then make sure that you location tag that too. Okay, so those were all things that you can do to your own account to make it perform better, but now let's talk about a few things that you can do with other people to give your account a boost. Now, first up, you've got the simple collaboration. This is where you connect with another influencer, typically an Instagram influencer, although you could connect with a YouTuber or someone on Facebook if you really wanted to. And in its simplest form, you simply agree to trade shoutouts. So either you both mention each other in your caption or you both regram one of your posts. This gives both of you exposure and it can help to give you a bit of a boost with your followers. Next up is something that is way more complicated but also way more effective, and that is to run a loop giveaway. Now, what a loop giveaway is when a whole bunch of different Instagram accounts, anywhere from about 3 all the way up to maybe 30 different Instagram accounts, all work together to give away a whole bunch of stuff. So normally every account that's participating either pitches in some money to contribute to the giveaway, or they contribute an item to the giveaway. And then in order to enter the giveaway, people have to like the post, follow the account, and then there's instructions in the giveaway post on that account that say, now go follow so-and-so to be entered into the giveaway. So then they go and they find the post on the other person's account, they follow them, and that post directs them to another person's account. And they get directed around and around and around to a whole bunch of different accounts, and eventually all the way back in a loop to the first account that they came to. And so when they get back to that first account, then they know that they've completed the loop, they've followed all of the accounts that they need to follow in order to be entered into the giveaway. And of course, this is all explained in each of the posts for the giveaway on each of the different accounts. So doing this allows you to get a whole bunch more followers, because the followers of every single one of those accounts that is participating in the giveaway are all having this giveaway advertised to them, and they all will potentially come around and follow you too. So just for example, let's say that there are 10 accounts participating and they all have 10,000 followers, but let's say that only 10% of the followers actually do the giveaway. So that means 1,000 followers from each of these 10 accounts do the giveaway, which would mean you would get 10,000 new followers. Now that might be a high estimate, that might be a low estimate. I would say on the very lowest end, you could expect to get 1,000 followers, and on the very highest end, in those circumstances, you could expect to get 20,000 followers. Either way, that's a fair lot of followers for this one particular effort. Now, in order for the loop giveaway to work, you really have to make sure that it's not too tedious or annoying for the followers, or else they simply will not do it. You don't want to have too many accounts in the giveaway. Normally somewhere between about 4 and about 10 is a great range. If you start going over 10, then people will follow several people and then they'll be like, maybe this never ends, and they'll never complete the entire loop. And then if there's too few accounts in the giveaway, then there just isn't as many potential followers to be gained. And of course, you also need to make sure that the instructions are really clear and that the giveaway prize is really awesome, so that people actually want to take the time and make the effort to follow all those different accounts. And then the last tip that I want to share with you about how to grow your Instagram account faster in 2018 is to use the Facebook follow trains. It isn't nearly as effective as the loop giveaways, but it's also a whole lot less work. Basically, there are a whole bunch of different Instagram growth focused Facebook groups. So on Facebook, you've got these groups about lots of different topics, and if you just search for Instagram followers or Instagram growth, you'll find a whole bunch of different groups that are filled with people who are also trying to grow their Instagram accounts. So what you can do is you can join these groups, and then in most of these groups, you will find that either every day or at least a couple times a week, they post an Instagram follow train. And so all you have to do is post a link to your Instagram account on that post that is the Instagram follow train, and then you have to follow all of the other accounts that have also been posted. Sometimes you have to follow all of the other links, other times you just have to follow 3 or 5 or 10 or something like that. So when you post, it doesn't earn you a huge amount of followers, normally somewhere between 5 followers and 20 or 30 followers, but if you join a whole bunch of these different groups and you do it every single day, then it definitely can add up. Also, because you are driving these followers to come to your account from outside of Instagram, Instagram actually sees that as very favorable, because they're like, oh wow, people are seeking out this account and they're following it on their own. It's not just like an Instagram inside referral where someone's following one Instagram account and then they go and they follow another one. So Instagram will actually see it as a positive thing for your account when you do the Facebook follow trains, and it will help Instagram to also want to promote your account even more because they think that people are really interested in it, and so your account will show up as one of those suggested accounts whenever someone follows another Instagram account. Okay, so I know that this was kind of a long video and that was a lot of information, but there's a lot that goes into growing your Instagram account, especially in 2018 with all of these algorithm changes that have come up. But I hope that you really enjoyed watching this video and that it helps you grow your Instagram account faster and get more followers. If you have any questions about growing your account, then leave them down in the comments. I try to manage the comments as best as I can and answer as many questions as possible. If you enjoyed this video, if you found it helpful, then make sure you hit the thumbs up button to let me know and help more people find this video. And if you haven't already, make sure you subscribe to my channel. I make 2 videos every week about intentional living, entrepreneurship, and success, and I would love to have you join me for the next one. Thank you so much for watching. My name is Gillian, and I hope you decide to join me for my next video.